So Dave, thanks again for spending some time with us. We're doing some market research on a company that we're looking to start called KD Foods. And the mission of this company is to provide healthy, nutritious food for K through 12 students. The thought was to start in the private school sector and really get a bearings and kind of understand what the market's about and see if it'll take off. And if that works in the private school sector, we're looking to hopefully make this available to public schools if it's affordable. So with your background in nutrition and health, I think you'd be considered an expert in this field. Also because you also worked in K through 12 as well as an educator.
Yep.
So based on that and our conversation we previously had, what are your thoughts and experience with some of the challenges having nutritious meals for kids right now?
Well, I think when you go into a cafeteria for high school or middle school, or whatever, they pretty much have a kind of a carte blanche to get whatever they want. They can pick and choose, and they're not getting things balanced. They'll just go and grab whatever tastes good, and they don't really have packages. And I think what you're talking about is having a package that makes sense. It's like, you don't want to just, you want to put things together that, okay, you're getting the right macros, you're getting protein, carbohydrates, and everything else. And you could go from one degree of saying, all right, this is what did you have for breakfast, and then match it up for what you have for dinner. These kids are probably not getting enough protein, or if they're getting it, probably mostly from cheese and stuff like that. They're probably not getting it from like meats or something, all that. And also, I think you get into a lot of another area where you have kids that are maybe for social or whatever reasons they may be, I want to be a vegetarian. And that's probably sometimes the worst parts. So, I mean, in an expansion on that, they don't know what to do. So they're gonna stay away from all the meats. They don't eat meat. But, I mean, to get even, that's just an example of like, kids don't know what to do. They for whatever reason, they love animals. They don't want to eat that, whatever. So they kind of go, I don't want to eat meat. Well, what do? They eat a bunch of really bad junk food that's going to make them overweight and unhealthy and not have enough energy for the day. So if you were able to package something, hey, this is hey, there's a vegetarian thing. It's balanced with the proteins. Kids, there's no way. There's adults. There's most people that know a lot about fitness that don't know how to match up.
Right.
Most people I talk to as adults, they don't know what to do. They know they want to get protein. They don't know how much. But balancing it out, having it prepackaged, and then having it kind of driven through the parents. Like the parents, okay, I would probably recommend say, hey, look, sign up the parents first. Do you want your kids to have these healthy meals? Pay for them up front and say, okay, here's a month full, and this is what they're going to eat. And so the parents kind of can regulate that, and they can say, okay, this is what you're getting. And from that standpoint, it would be really great. You can control for private schools.
Right.
So,
Right. I just really thought with a private school that can be an incentive to get students. Say, listen, we have balanced meals for your students, and really kind of market this as being really a healthy choice rather than the traditional, lunches or even breakfasts. Roll into breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast is, the breakfast is so bad, for kids. And I think most of the time kids just eat, just adults do, like knee jerk. It's like, I'm hungry, I want to grab something. So what do they grab? Well, of course. Yeah, a Snickers bar or something that's bad for them, or something that's not going to fuel them through the day. Whereas this is actually planned, and it's okay, what are you going to... I think it comes right down to it, because we have so many options. I mean, for instance, we can't even buy toothpaste. Toothbrush is like, oh my God, there's 5 million. There's so many options, and we're leaving these options up to little kids, and like adults get confused with what to eat, let alone kids that they have no idea what they're trying to eat. So if you're able to like, here's a full, thing, and I think that's important.
Right, we can address the allergies as well. The peanut allergies.
Oh my God,
the prepackaged, and give them the nutrition they need while avoiding the allergies that they may have, for example, with peanuts.
And if you can tie it to like some sort of performance, or you can start to do research, and we know like proper nutrition equals better grades, and and better performance on the. And I mean, that's going to resonate with the parents. The parents going to want that from them, and also if you have macronutrients placed on the packages, their kids are going to question that, and maybe even make it even fun. You can be like, make big crayon letters of 30 grams of protein. Ooh, what's this? Or and kind of, you can almost make the packages almost educational and fun, kind of like piggyback on what Kellogg's does with their with their their cereal boxes. Their cereal boxes are definitely made to enhance to get kids interested.
Right.
But I think that the problem with the kids, I mean, if you have, is that they just don't know what to eat,
Right.
and have no idea.
So recently you took on a prepackaged meal plan for, for your customers, for your clients. What are your thoughts? How's it going? What would you recommend as them for us coming in the same business for children?
Yeah.
How would you enhance it or change
Well,
anything that you're doing now with that program?
I found that generally through schools it's easier. I mean, it can be easier because you're always controlling them, that sort of thing. And with my clients, the reason why I did it was that I would get all this, I don't know what to eat, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, here's what you do. This is the prepackaged, eat this maybe 4 nights a week. And this is, you're going to be fine with it. And it's balanced, you don't have to worry about it. Because what I wanted to avoid, and it's the same thing with kids, I mean, how many times my kid comes on, I don't know what to eat, is that whole thing is reacting to hunger rather than planning on it. You're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
It's like I'm planning on going to sleep at 10 o'clock. Well, you're planning on, you don't plan on eating.
Right.
You don't plan, you should plan. Many people that don't, I think most people that are overweight pretty much don't plan for it.
Right.
You should know what you're having. So if they come home, hey, this is what I eat. I know from my experience, my 14-year-old son, he absolutely loves what I give him. I mean, this is just from I was talking about my adults. The adults are great, but I'm actually getting some information from my 14-year-old who I come in here, I train him, he goes into the freezer, grabs, he takes a look. I mean, yesterday, what did he grab? I forget what he grabbed. He grabbed one of the, just a steak and, mixed with like brown rice meal. And he liked it. He finds the package neat and just like, well, this is cool. And then they have a Clean Eats has a thing called the Arnold wrap, which is like a tomato pesto wrap with like inside it's like steak and peppers and onions and kind of mixed in, and you cook it for 5 minutes. You put it in the microwave, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 2.5 on one side. He loves that thing. He's like, I love the Arnold wrap, and it's kind of cool because it's Arnold wrap and Arnold Schwarzenegger, so it's neat. But he eats it all the time. He absolutely loves it. He eats it, and honestly, he's doing. The other night, his brother and sister were like getting pizza, and he literally told me, he goes, Dad, I really don't want the pizza.
Wow.
And he grabbed the Arnold wrap, and he says, I had that, I was perfectly happy. He goes, that was good, I'm glad I had that. And so he was actually, he would have had pizza if he didn't have the option. And I think just keeping it clear cut, I think that's the key. And my clients have been really good about, they'll come in when they're really serious. They say, yeah, I want to grab a few. I don't know what I'm having tonight, and I don't want them to go to a bad restaurant or something that they don't want. I don't really think most people eat McDonald's or I don't think most people eat fast food planned.
Yeah, no.
I mean, very few. It's like Tuesday night is it's McDonald's night. It's
right.
No, generally it's God, I'm hungry and I'm gonna run in there, and then they're pumping out, or those fast food restaurants pump out the smell to make you more hungry. I'm gonna go grab it.
Right.
And so I think that if you can have it a go-to, even if it's a safety valve thing, like, God, I don't know what to eat. I was just tired. Things happen. Mom and Dad is like, God, I am just so busy today. They both work. Can't do what we did in the 50s. Both parents work. And
right.
It's like, and some nights you're going to be able to cook, but some nights you're going to go, I don't want to know what I'm going to do. Well, this is it's a great alternative. It's like, you could probably take this potentially out of the schools and then take it and then blow it up beyond that. Say, look, here's what they get outside the schools. Here's what they got for dinner, and everything's balanced out.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a great idea. I wouldn't even think of that, but right now focusing on the children, obesity is a major issue, so it's definitely.
Because I think it's just a balance between right now they're not getting the activity.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother discussion to where they're not getting the activity. I think they're getting so much more, screen time, and I think unfortunately, a lot of the activities they are getting are so much. They're not like when I was a kid where we just ran out and played. It's so much like they're playing a sport under a team where they're not as active the entire time. Like, You go out and play the ball. You play for 4 hours.
Right.
Like you don't stop. Now you sit. Let's instruct you.
Right.
Let's sit down. And that's probably thousands of calories that you're not burning because you're watching instruction or you're trying to, which isn't bad or good, but it's like they're not doing it. They're always in
That's a good
something.
point.
And then all of a sudden they're coming home and then they're eating worse food because their parents are. I mean, it's not a secret. I mean, it's really difficult. Sometimes I look at the statistics and I look at like the way our society has changed and realize why are people fatter even? Because like they're eating worse food and they're exercising and their activity's not even, but I think this is a sea change. This is a major time to where we have to sit there and wake up and say, we have to do things differently because it's totally not working and it's going to keep going worse unless you do something. And being able to hit, I think parents will, one of the things from a business standpoint is I know, and I don't really deal with a ton of kids, but I do know that parents will do just about anything for their kids if
Right.
they can see I've had clients won't spend $5 on the salesperson training,
Right, of course.
but they'll spend $300 a month for their kid.
Right.
And it's from a business standpoint, I don't like that because it's like really, if obviously they should be spending it on themselves to get themselves in shape because they're going to be. But from a standpoint of psychology, forget about it.
Right. I think that's why in the private schools, especially in New England, I think we can show the value, and
Oh,
and they can
exactly.
show the value to the customer, to their parents. As well.
you could be hardcore. So you don't care about your kid?
right, exactly.
And then forget about if you get to a point where you get a doctor behind it or something like that, and saying, hey, and if you hit him at the right time, pediatrician visit, and hey, your kid's up, he needs to drop some weight.
Right.
It's like,
good, yeah.
and put, kind of hit that, but I just know that if you make it tasty and good, and you can do that. How many people make good, healthy foods, and they do it all the time? It's just, and kids get out of the rut, and they have to understand. I don't know how much they're just going to know whether it's good or not. Like I said, my son likes it, so he actually can. It's great when he leaves his gym and he's like, Dad, can I have this keto beef? I'm like, of course. I want to eat this. And he's not. He wants to eat healthy, but at the same time, he's totally not like, a stick that he's never had an appetite. He likes food.
Right.
I will take him. He's not gonna. So it's not like he's that type of kid to be like, oh, I won't. Some kids just don't like to eat. He likes to eat,
Right.
and he's choosing these prepackaged foods that are healthy. These prepackaged foods are basically based on, like, people that would get competition ready type of foods.
Right.
Lean meat or whatever the case may be, and he's choosing them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So it tells you. Not that it's going to work for everybody, but definitely, I think there's definitely an interest if you have give them for free.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Get them out there, started eating it because man.
Well, I really appreciate
Cool.
it. This is huge.
Yeah, awesome, yeah.
This is really helpful for our research and understanding what the market looks like, and especially coming from somebody who's already using prepackaged for people that are health conscious. So I think it's
Definitely.
really-
It helps. It
really
helps.
benefit.
It really helps. It makes it a lot more simpler for adults, and I think it would make it much more simpler. Simpler for kids, and I think you have a good. I think it's a real good idea and totally worth pursuing because that's
right.
pursuing it because kids are gonna eat bad if that's what they're
Yep.
and probably have a great
Yep.
parents too.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.